Truth FM 96.1 carrying us live in Lima County this morning. We have the Deputy Secretary General of the CPP, and of course, he's the Secretary General of the Liberty Party. It's no secret that the CPP, the collaborating political parties, have its convention spread out from the 13th to the 14th this weekend. So Martin Sikula of District Number 6, all in one. The titles are somebody. What point in time I say, what sort of rest do you have? You are Secretary General of the Liberty Party, Deputy Secretary General of the CPP. For the convention, you're also the head of secretary at the convention. You are in this current 4-in-1. As you manage, good morning, welcome to the breakfast show.
Yeah, good morning, Onu, and good morning to the peace-loving people of Liberia. Good morning to our fellow compatriots who will elect CPP to take over this country.
Paulo Wiggles, like the Unity Party, but now the CPP have taken the entire social media, a social media gadget. I see CPP just everywhere. This morning.
But look, the go to national convention as a collaboration. While the process of going to convention, we are also engaging a lot of other stakeholders within our political space. So there will be issue about the CPP as it relates to its first convention. This is our first convention we are ready to the party. And then there will be issues surrounding our engagement. We're doing a lot of engagement with political parties, with different strategic individuals.
What is trending on social media? It's like people pushing, I've seen some names that normally you don't discuss a thing on social media. It's a party. It's a CPP, not bother what is going on social media. A lot of suggested names, just with us, later, something to snow, and so forth.
So, listen, as a political institution, we are very public and transparent about our dealings. So the public get to know quicker what we are doing. The person who leads the CPP, the person who is to become the next president of the Republic of Liberia after the 2023 October election, Mr. Alexander Kunis is a very transparent person. He tried by all means endeavor to ensure that people are aware of his activity. This is why most of the activities are public. So most of these engagement that we are doing are also public engagement. Like I told you, we are engaging so many other groups, so we don't have control over managing, huge chunk of information. We engage in different political parties, different political actors.
Can you brought up on the social media comments? Just coming to have just 10% of the actual reality on the ground.
Correct. Look, again, I always say, look, social media plays some minimal significant role in our politics. I tell people 80%, 84% of the people that actually vote, they don't really take part into active political activities. They don't go around when political institutions are launching. They don't go to political party headquarters, or some of them don't take up membership card. So most of the people that actually goes to vote are not very active political people. They are not on social media. So now they don't care about listening to radio that much. So you care about some of the people who actually vote needs to be directly engaged in what we are involved with. So the social media is kind of it. And also our activity being public is part of the transparency that we want to bring to this country. We cannot behave like those who we are criticizing now. There's some secrets that go unit, secret other unit, secret activities, get outcome in the country, they get allegation, counter allegation of who got armed and who did it, and all the kind of secrets. No, CPP will be a very transparent institution. So issues on the social media, yes, it is intended for us to review our current status. Look, it's important for you to get criticized, even by those who hate you, people who think that you can, because it keeps you alive. It keeps you aware of your surrounding and your condition. So most of the time we see some of these actions, we just know that look, we are being heavily look at.
Okay.
There are people who see us with a high standard. So we
That's why you
need
got
to
people talking.
exactly look. If we were not as valuable to the politics of our country, no one would have time for us. Yeah, I'm not passing to you here talking about some of this one of the political party. Over the past 4 years, only consistently they have been around Mr. Cummings. Mr. Cummings is the most talked about politician. Mr. Cummings is the politician that is most often attacked more than any other politician, even by his own colleagues. So this man is the man of our era. They take it on so they talk about CPP, they talk about Mr. Cummings. It is because of the value we bring to politics. It is because we have grown over time. And the Liberian people are now hoping on us and counting on us. We were telling people CPP is a brand, don't leave CPP. We were taking it for our joke. Today, that brand is outstanding in our country.
What sort of convention do we anticipate? I mean, this is one of the most talked about convention in downtown this weekend. What does the convention do we anticipate? Like when people, I mean, watching, what sort of convention?
So listen, like a convention is a functional duty. It's not a normal riding meeting. So convention have delegates, you have
What sort of
observers.
convention you anticipate for the city? Granted, I know all of that.
Yeah,
But the major important, the first convention.
Correct. So
is there what has been talking about just everywhere?
yeah, because the convention of the CPP is the highest decision making body in the CPP. And one of the major decisions that is taken at the convention is to decide or endorse the standard bearer of the CPP. That makes the convention very important. So we anticipate leaving the convention with an endorsed standard bearer at the CPP. Right now, CPP already, by nature of our collaboration, has a standard bearer as well as the Congress. But the higher decision making body in the CPP have not endorsed that decision yet. So the purpose for this, for one of the main purpose of the convention, among other things, to develop platforms and approve platforms and do other things, is to endorse the standard bearer of the CPP. So the convention anticipates delegates from the two major constituent political parties, members of the party's advisory council, members of the executive committee, members of the secretariat, different auxiliary groups that will come to participate, the observer, eminent citizens of our country. So the convention will have these people conglomerating in Ganta City and to witness the first convention in the history of the CPP, the first national convention in the history of the CPP.
I going to have a running maybe announced because now before that, I mean, you can skip this question. You can skip this question. Before then, the past years, people were not looking at running mate. It was just a standard girl. People are going from looking at all of them. But now running mate have become a major priority in our politics. I mean, at the end of the convention, do you anticipate a running mate to be announced just after the convention?
So, let me say it is very important for us to consider because they are elected on one ticket. The person who is to be elected as vice president should be well prepared to be president anytime. What to act in the capacity of the president when he or she either is unfit or has traveled or certain circumstances present itself. So the running thing is very important.
Is it worrisome to the party? Is the party so worried about to announce? I'm seeing on social media here and there, and we're being faced with a lot of pressure. If we choose those other prices, but it's going to be a wicked ticket, it's a dead ticket upon the rather. Is the party so worried about that?
Again, the reason why people are so worried about the CPP vice standard to the extent that there are some friends in the collaboration, there are some political institutions in the collaboration who are so worried. And you see all their policies on social media making all kinds of statements, saying all kinds of things. It is because they know it's the case they will win this election. And they think that by choosing the wrong person will help diminish his chances of winning. The reason why the ruling establishment is so worried is because number one, they have desperately performed so poorly, keeping our people in abject poverty. So they think that Mr. Cummings present, and which is true, another opportunity or to the many problems that we have: poverty, poor infrastructure, poor healthcare, messy educational system. Mr. Cummings present that opportunity. So because of that, they they are jaded, they are worried. And they pray on their knees that Mr. Comey chooses somebody that will not be up to the standard so that they can use that. Most recently, the whole lot of criticism, there was somebody thinking that was running with. So we are not in a rush, horrible boss strategy. We are strategically engaging. We are meeting individuals, we are meeting political parties, we are meeting stakeholders, we are talking to just everybody because we want to get the best.
But see, we have a stronghold. Do we have a stronghold? If you choose us, this running mate from this county, I mean, it's a weak ticket. Do you have a strong base? Down county also have been taking into serious consideration. Do you have a stronghold? What do you look for to make the rulings?
So on you, and this is where I see the issue of a stronghold. The issue of stronghold is about numbers. It's about numbers. It's about the personality. People in our country vote for individuals. They vote for what you will be able to deliver to our people. I told people, I'm a veteran of the Student Education Party at the University of Liberia. South is the only institution that will vote institutionally. All my life of national politics, people vote for the individual ahead of the ticket. People either vote for Mr. Cummings, George Weah, or Mr. Boyka. Forget it. This is why picking the running mate is important because these person represent certain characteristics, and their running mate must have to some extent some of these characteristics because, like I said, they can become president anytime. So the thing about stronghold is about doing what the people in most Raleigh County want, doing what the people in Bond County want. You are better off with a stronghold as Liberia than with a stronghold as one county with Lofa or Nina.
Are you looking? Are you looking up to a gender balance?
Yes, we are hoping that we can have that. We are hoping that we can have that. Again, the engagements are on, but we are hoping that we can have a female vice there. But the engagement are on. We are not rooting at all. We are also not. We want what best for Liberia.
So why you call Lofa and Nina? These are two halves of one countries, or what?
No. I'm saying if you define your stronghold to like caveman, let me add caveman.
Yeah, come on, campaign. Yeah. So
Let me add caveman there. And then you are limited to caveman. People see you and so the caveman these guys will vote for you. But what makes the rest of the county? So you need to make sure that your stronghold is Liberia. Let that be our stronghold. Let that be our stronghold. We're talking about fixing the country and not fixing our county. Look, all those who have preached geopolitics in this country and have benefited, show me one of them that their constituents, their local constituents, have benefited from. I know a lot of them, I can name them, but what's about rural? What's about the education system? None of those who really preach this kind of geopolitics really go back to their people to them because they think about themselves. To preach too much geopolitics is to even be selfish from the very beginning. We need Liberia to be fixed.
Mr. Kola, my next question is following the selection of Baka's running mate, they have been called for reconciliation within the Liberty Party that is part of the CPP. The CPP is going to convention. What have you done within the Liberty Party as you are going to convention along with the ANC?
So look, we in fact before the decision of the court, we started engaging already. So look, and you can engage and reconcile as much as possible with the other person. Reconciliation requires the preparedness of the parties involved to sit down and have conversation. When
It has to do also a give and take.
correct. So as and the onus is or the onus are upon the leaders, those who are in leadership to take reconciliation forward. And this is why permeability and the executive committee of the Liberty Party did. Even before the ruling, we have said whatsoever thing that will come out, whatsoever ruling that will come out of the Supreme Court, we will abide by our and we will extend our hand of reconciliation. So if this ruling, and we said that 2 weeks before the ruling. So if the ruling had gone against us,
Going other way.
yeah, we were on record already. Meaning that we were prepared for reconciliation. Look, the man who funded the Liberty Party was a reconciler. When the Liberty Party is built on 4 pillars. Reconciliation is number one. So sometimes it bothers me. You're not talking about the water part, talk about the convention, but it bothers me that people will want to walk in this minister or we claim that they are walking in the legacy of Councillor Bonsky and refuse reconciliation and even reject the ruling from the court. In 2017, I remember Councillor Bronski said you remember the water party case to the court, and when the court said, look, you have reasons, there were irregularity, but it's not sufficient to what. So the court agreed that the election was fraud, but it was not sufficient. Okay. So, but be at the May, Councillor Bronson may so rest in perfect peace. Said, I don't agree with the court, but I accept the ruling of the court. There are people in Liberty Party today who claim that they are working in Bronson legacy, who claim and that Bronson left the party over them. So those of us we are less important. These people are not only refusing, they are rejecting the outcome of the Supreme Court.
Great. So
we are not even working in Bronson.
Yeah. So let's concentrate on the convention.
Correct.
Yes, we don't want to get you off track.
Yeah, so I think it was important. I think it was important.
George Wisner. Yes, we have George Wisner, strategic within the CPP live. We'll get the lines right after George drop the line. George Wisner, good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show.
Good morning.
Great. So it's a build up to the convention, a 2-day convention, Friday and Saturday. We have the SG, double SG, Martin Kuna. Yeah, so looking at the importance of the convention, the first of its kind for the CPP.
Well, yeah, this is historic since we put the CPP together. This is the first time we will be gathering in one second to validate, so to speak, the standard bearer and state of legislative tickets, as well as look at our vision for Nigeria going forward and some other issues. So I think it's an exciting time. It's also a historic time, and we should all be proud to be part of it.
Okay, like I praise Martin on this one. This issue of the running mate now become a major priority of the Liberians. You get rulers out before the people are not looking at running mate now. The concerns are so high. The social media is just a concern. Names are just popping up left and right with different names to anticipate to get a running mate at the end of the convention. What's your take?
Well, I've said before many times on your station that Mr. Cummings and CPP takes the issue of a bias running mate very, very seriously, because that person was assisted the standard bearer to fulfill his vision and his mission for the country. And so this is a matter that we have imbibed home meticulously with wide consultation, very broad consultation at every levels. Yes, you follow social media in recent times of one of the many names that were that are on the radar that we've been talking to. So we are continuing those consultations, those discussions, those vetting processes. I want to believe very strongly that we are very close to zeroing on or running it than we were like yesterday.
With that move by the social media pressure, I mean, there are a lot of names just popping up from Grandpa, so from Bon County, from Lima County, that just named from just everywhere. You're not concerned of the pressure on the social media?
Well, I think it's a good thing that social media is speculating. A lot of names are popping up. I think it's because of the vision that Mr. Cummings has spouses. and the CPP. So, who really want to share in the economic transformation revitalization of the Nigerian state? So, yes, the Nigerian public is also interested in who becomes the vice president or the vice running mate of the Cummings. And so we've been monitoring a lot of names on social media. Some of those names, yes, are on our short list. Some of those names are public speculation, but they also give us an indication of what the public is thinking and what their interests are. So we will not leave any stone unturned. We will vet, we will consult widely, and we will come up with a candidate that we think shares in the vision of the Senator and the CPP, and that can help us move the country forward.
Great. Thanks so much for picking up this morning, George Wisner.
You're welcome.
Thank you. The voice of George Whistle. The public can call in for the next 5 minutes, 0770-153-265. And Mark can
770-202-579.
speaking directly about the convention. Let's get this restricted to the CPP convention, like we're done with other political parties now. It's the CPP.
Good morning. Let me take this caller. Good morning. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, let's see if I can pick a call from our end. This fourth caller. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning, go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Freddie Howard and I call from Israel.
Freddie, you have to walk away from your monitor. You hear myself in the background.
How you go?
Go ahead.
Yeah, my name is Freddie Howard and I call from Israel. So what we call in that Thursday, Friday, we buy a will be initiatory celebration for Nigerian next president, this is in the comments. So to Legend Martin, in studio, we say thank you for things you are saying. These are all facts. Nigeria are going to gravitate towards the future of Mr. Hamid. And we'll come from you by perspective.
Thank you. Let's see another call on the line. 9:15. Have to be out of here. Good morning.
Good morning. Frederick,
Pedro, go ahead.
okay, we are gearing up for the convention. Comes Friday and Saturday, we'll be in our number for our free victory for Mr. Hamid. Comes October 10th, we will event that is on Benedict from Liberia. Thank you.
Thank you. Where's Rachel Lucian? Good morning.
Hello.
Morning. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Ali Chiaki. I'm calling from District here. And let me say good morning to the veteran.
Why are the people just calling from District 10? District 10. Go ahead. Anyway.
Yeah, because I'm on time and passing through.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, so we want to say we are prepared for our convention in Lima County this weekend. And our partisans are already high here. Delegates are all set to elect or elect their different certificates to protect them to the ticket. And the police is getting to the place here to take this largest in the country. We believe in the police's idea for Nigeria, and he's going to be allowed to Section 2.
Okay.
Thank you to the Secretary General for spreading out the information of the convention. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Let's go to Mike, give it county and pick out Emma Hammer. Emma, morning. All right, thank you. Yes, let's not do the color because of time. Yes.
Yeah, so correct. The last caller said it right. This is why we are very careful. This is why we are very mindful as to who we select, because we know that that vast runway will come on a serious microscopic examination, and the peak, the CPP peak will shake this country. The CPP peak will reassure Liberians that we are ready to change this country. Look, the theme for our convention is in the direction of ensuring that we have change in this country. So we have a team that is called Real Change is Coming. Together, we can fix our country. You know, Mr. Comey is being referred to as the fixer. As the fixer. So, you know, we are going over there to begin the process. Mr. Comey he has already started working. But upon his endorsement and when a decision is made at the convention, at the higher decision making body of the CPP, which is the National Convention, Mr. Cummings will begin to fix this. So the thing is, we are ensuring that we begin a process that will lead to our change. There will be delegates from all the 15 political subdivisions of our country. So our delegates coming from Maryland all the way to Bankirtman County, including Midland, all the other counties. So and the delegates that will come from the counties committee, so they are delegates coming from the county committee, delegates coming from the National Executive Committee, at our headquarters, delegates coming from the National Advisory Council of the both political parties, and other people. So there will be not less than 300 delegates coming from each of the 15 political subdivisions. Wow. Some counties will have more because of the size of their district, because we are drawing up delegates from each of the 73 districts in our country from the both parties. Okay. And we are drawing up delegates from the county structure. And of course, we have delegates coming from the diaspora. So we have a lot of our diaspora folks here, you know, who will be up there with us in Limban. And then I'm only hoping that we have peace in Ganta to really launch, you know, because that's our delegate listing alone is almost 1,000 because we don't want to respond. Look, again, Lima is a place that will collect a lot of votes. Remember that the national chairman of the CPP, so the Musa Hassan, is contesting election number 7, but doing a lot of work all over Lima. Now, look, the people in our country are no longer just voting for people because too often it's in trial. They're voting for you because of what you have to offer for this country. You know, this is no time for someone to say they may get a country in a heart. This time, other people say take Liberia off, then let's see it. So the place will be jam-packed, there'll be a lot of celebration with, and by the way, we are having 3 conventions into one. 3 in 1. So there will be a Liberty Party convention on Friday. Correct. There'll be a Liberty Party convention on Friday. There'll be, which is consistent with our constitution and with next regulation. And there'll be an peace convention on the same Friday too, which is also consistent with their constitution. And then on Saturday is the CPP is the biggest one. The one that will endorse Mr. Queen, the one that will present the next president of the republic, the one that will present the fixer of our country. Quickly, before you go, as we take leave of you, with this issue that we have in countries in the there have been a lot of concern about it. So how do you intend to do so? There's parents in every district are concerned about this. So with respect, I can speak to the CPP. So with respect to the CPP, the constituent political parties giving the candidate that they have will be allowed to select a particular district. But if they have more than one candidate in that district, then that district will be subject to primary.
Okay.
So there
So
are
if
some,
you for a Liberty Party,
correct,
for example,
correct,
contesting district number 6,
correct,
you choose this area as of now.
yeah.
Okay.
So if the other party say
This is my area. The
this is
ANC will
our
not send
area,
a candidate.
exactly. But if the other party have more than one candidate, there, or the ANC have a candidate that they think that can beat or win the election, they can consult with the other party.
There'll be no need for primary.
Correct. Yeah, there'll be no need for primary because the CP thing will start from consensus before it goes to primary. So we will try to build consensus first. I mean, build consensus in a way that will produce our best. And if that is not possible, then we subject. If we have two stronger candidates, we subject them to our primary. They allow fair game to our play. And when the other one lost, we ask that you support the opponent. So again, and the witness said there will be some, I think about 28 to 30 candidates that will be endorsed alongside with Mr. Cummings, and I'm hoping to be one of them.
Yes, we're watching it. They're hoping to be one of them. The voice of Martin Sikula, Secretary General of the Liberty Party, Deputy Secretary General of the CPP, Secretary of the Convention. TSG, man. Yes. Thank you so much for coming through. And let's just say this out. To every other political parties, the platform is open. Yes, Librarian will make the decision on the 10th of October.
Librarian will definitely get Mr. Cummings.
Okay, so you say,
Mr. Cummings is the best chapter of politician. 4 years.
Is he worried? Is he worried about it?
He's the most relaxed. No. I saw leadership in Mr. Cummings. He's
not bothered.
Some of a politician's most difficult life is that when you are lied on and you are taken to court.
Okay.
I saw Mr. Cummings so relaxed. I saw leadership in a man who understands what to do for this country. Taking to court, lie upon, and later on,
how does it get up on the Monday when after the convention?
Correct, I'll be happy.
Thank you so much.
We'll discuss post-convention.
Great. Let's get a brief out. We'll come back to bring the team for like revenue authority to the LRA on the TBS. Don't go away.
I got you. Take no and then you see my power off for you. I get him out. Brand new sortie.
We have the best deals, offers, and promos. Purchase from any of our stores and POS around the country and enjoy the best mobile coverage certified by Ookla. Second time in a row.
Brings you closer to what matters.
Orange.
They have done it again.
What excitement! Share the good news now.
My begin tried to cut the vibe yesterday. And he still calling me a mama. He still bragging on your arm.
Rapper, dose. Hey. When I say lie, you say B. Lie, B. Just straight forward, we got a key. Lie, B. Yeah.
Ooh,
hey. Talking about leader and lie. Yo. Leader that lie. We talking about leader that lie. I've never been knowing, I swear I'm lying. We talking about leader that lie. Yo. Begin that lie. We talking about leader that lie. The pen and the paper, he eat it, that Gary. We talking about leader that lie. Retire with quick, we are married. We talking about Rabbi that lie. The shiki that Zor, he enter the hiding. We got a key to the fool. Enter the district with fool. In the net chicken crew, politician friend, where you now go? We got a key to the fool. Enter the district with fool. In the net chicken crew, politician friend, where you now go? Lie. In a make it, Birete, fini broken it. Lie. In a make it, Birete. But who show us road, tell the vision to the radio. Lie. Get the poor people hope, show them they are right, put it on no. Lie. Entertaining that you going to school, who will choose? Lie. Hey. Lie. Yeah. Una lie. Hey. Yeah. I ain't trying to preach. Rapper, dose. Hey. When I say lie, you say B. Lie, B. Just straight forward, we got a key. Lie, B. Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm talking about leader and life. Leader that lie. We talking about leader that lie. I've never been knowing, I swear I'm lying. We talking about leader that lie. Begin that lie. We talking about leader that lie. The pen and the paper, he eat it at Gary. We talking about leader that lie. Retire with quick, we are married. We talking about Rabbi that lie. The shiki that saw, he enter the hiding. We gotta keep to the fool. Enter the district with fool. In the net, chicken crew, politician friend, where you now go? We gotta keep to the fool. Enter the district with fool. In the net, chicken crew, politician friend, where you now go? Lie. In a make it say, Birete, fini poking it. Lie. In a make it say, Birete. But who show us road to the vision, to the radio? Get the poor people hope, show them they are right, put it on no. Entertaining the youth.
The Truth Breakfast showed on Truth 96.1 FM. Like we indicated in our introduction, we now have a team here from two areas, from the LRA as well as the Ministry of Justice. So let me get the names of the guests here this morning on the TBS as Richard also tries to get them on camera. So as per what we receive, we should be having here this morning Mr. Isaac B. Stevens, Assistant Commissioner, Taxpayer Services Division of the Liberia Revenue Authority, Mr. Sebastian Weah, Assistant Commissioner, Medium Tax Division, LRA, and Mrs. Priscilla P. Kelly, if I'm correct with that, Acting Director, Division of Public Safety, Mr. Bia Kone, Inspector, Division of Public Safety, Ministry of Justice. These are people we should be having, except there's any change, they will tell us. But this is the TBS we're looking up to. Richard, who is trying to set up with the camera there from Studio B, right here on the TBS on Truth 96.1 FM. So this morning we have a team here, a joint team from the Ministry of Justice as well as the Liberia Revenue Authority, and we will be talking about tax dialogue for private security institutions in Liberia. So that means the LRA will be having dialogue with private security institutions. What is it all about? That's exactly what we're going to be getting from the team here this morning on the TBS here on Truth 96.1 FM. And yes, so I'm now going over to Studio B to have the team, even though I mentioned the name, so I cannot match the name by the face. So we're giving them now the opportunity. Good morning. It's great having all of you here. Yes, so we like to match the name and the person. So yes, can you just help by saying who is who?
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Priscilla Poklo, KHLA from the Ministry of Justice, Division of Public Safety, Deputy Director, Acting Director Person.
Okay.
Inspector B.N. Conan from the Division of Public Safety, Ministry of Justice.
I'm Isaac B.N. Stevens, Assistant Commissioner, Taxpayer Services, Liberia Revenue Authority.
And I'm Sebastian Weah, the Assistant Commissioner for Medium Tax Division at the LRA.
Okay, that is good. You're also live on Real TV / Truth FM. So to our viewers who are just joining us, you have the team right there from the Ministry of Justice and the Liberia Revenue Authority. So today we'll be talking about a tax dialogue for private security institutions. So from the LRA, they are going to explain now exactly what is this tax dialogue about. Is it a new thing? Is it something that is happening always? So we'll have to go to folks from the LRA to give us a summary of what is tax dialogue is.
Well, one of our cardinal obligation at the Liberian Revenue Authority is to provide education and awareness, tax education, awareness, and sensitization to all of our taxpayers. And so occasionally and periodically, we hold tax dialogues and seminar and clinics to be able to explain processes and procedure that will enable taxpayer to meet their tax obligation. And so our being here today is consistent with that. And so we are just glad to be here, especially to provide some information to our private security firms to ensure that they are tax compliant. So lastly, we go into a little bit details about what that entails.
Yeah, so as you may be aware, the Ministry of Justice is the agency that is regulating the private security sector. So it's just correct and appropriate that we liaise with the Ministry of Justice in terms of our awareness effort with respect to the private security sector. Because as a government, we want to carry this one package of information so that since they have some requirement with respect to what they have to do at the Ministry of Justice and then with respect to compliance with the tax law, so we're packaging the information into one in this dialogue. So it will be a one-stop shop. And this is not an event, it's a process, it's something that's going to be continuous. So it's the first in many dialogues to come.
Yes, more comments from the other panelists.
Okay, what we intend doing is to actually get out more awareness. You know, the private security institution or business is a professional, a professional institution. So when you are not properly aware on proceedings for payment, proceeding for application and review, it makes it very difficult. For example, when we look at awareness, the essence of the awareness is to have you actually get up with a sense of direction as to how you go about even applying. We don't just accept application. We guide you through the process. We make you to understand exactly that the profession is so unique. So whatsoever you are doing, you must have it being law abiding. You must be a law abiding institution. You cannot establish an institution where say you are not paying. So the essence of this is to make you understand that you must be in full tax compliance if you are to operate, establish and operate private security institution.
Thank you very much. But we would like to throw light on the process of private security establishment. First of all, you have to come to the Ministry of Justice and acquire the process, and we give you our requirements that contain 7 counts. And then you do your first count has to do with application expressing interest of establishment. From there, we lead you through the process, we evaluate your company, and then accreditate you when you leave from the Ministry of Justice. We give you what we call the bill form, and you get to ARA to do your deposit and come back with that fair receipt from the ARA, and then we issue you the certificate from the Ministry of Justice, Division of Public Safety. We move on to say to those people who are in non-compliance or entity that establish a private security and do not come to the Ministry of Justice does not give you excuse, because we expect all of us to be cognizant of the law. It doesn't excuse any man. So we're here today to create this awareness with our partners ARA, and we do appreciate the fact that they have to bring us this far so that taxpayer or business entity can know the process of establishment.
Okay. So this is being done in partnership with both the Ministry of Justice and that of the Liberia Revenue Authority. So I asked earlier that I mean, is this the first of its kind? How long this been happening? Why now?
To come in, it is not a first. We started it from Madaserif time. We also did enforcement. So when
You mean this dialogue?
We have had other, or let's just say dialogue, although it has not been something like coming to studio, but we have been cooperating, we have been coordinating our work. So that's why we are speaking to.
Okay. I don't know whether that actually answer this question, but what we're talking about here is the tax dialogue for private security institutions. Is this thing a continuous process?
Yes, and we expect it to continue.
Okay.
In terms of the collaboration, I think what you were trying to say was that they probably have had dialogue, but just by the Ministry of Justice,
as separate
as separate
institutions.
institutions.
Exactly.
But in terms of the collaboration, this is the first of its kind. And like I said, like everyone is saying here, we hope that we can continue this because it's critical to ensure that security firms in our country properly register first with the Ministry of Justice, that they go through all of the application processes and procedure. And besides that, they are also legitimate institutions. That means they have registered their businesses with the Liberian Business Registry and are in our tax system, and they are declaring, they are registering, they are paying, and they are filing all of the returns that they need to file in order to be tax compliant. So
what is the overall goal? I mean, the biggest vision of this whole thing is it for tax payment or legitimacy in business? What is it?
So the biggest goal is compliance.
Okay.
And then with compliance, meaning that you have to be compliant with certification from the Ministry of Justice, for example, because you have to first register with the sector that regulates you. Then the issue of tax compliance. So as you do business in Liberia, there are laws with respect to taxation that you need to be compliant with. So the goal now is to make sure we educate our taxpayers, because you see sometimes non-compliance is not that the firm really wants to be non-compliant. It's just sometimes it's just a lack of knowledge, or sometimes they fear that this is a really big thing, and when I go they will charge me so much. So when you get to understand what are the requirements and what you need to do, it will help you a lot. So for example, you need tax clearance to do business with other institutions. What are the processes involved? So you need to know some of those things. And sometimes you also will avoid unnecessary charges because maybe you don't know the due date, so you didn't pay on time. So instead of paying what you should have paid, the penalty and interest are charged in addition to the tax that you should be paying. And so the whole issue around compliance that will also help you as an institution keeping the law, and also in terms of doing business, that will also facilitate all of your processes. More to that, we'll be focusing because the LRA now is moving from our old system to a new online system. So all of our taxpayers, we are moving them gradually. So like all of the large and medium taxpayers, by July, they should be moved on to the new online tax system. And the new online tax system is so efficient, such that like now, where with the old system, if you want to access a record, you have to go to the LRA to do that. You can stay within the confines of your home, your office, and just see everything that is in your account. You can register online, you subscribe online, you pay online, you don't have to come to the LRA to do business. And we're even linking that to the payment system at the bank, where you just do your instruction to your bank, and it's going to be, we're making tax compliance so effortless. Things that will also be creating awareness with respect to the private security sector on how to go about all of those processes.
Okay, so the next question is when is this dialogue taking place and where? Also, I don't know whether you say the question is loaded, but I asked when, where is it taking place, and what role is the Ministry of Justice going to be playing in this dialogue?
Like we indicated earlier, we said that this is a collaboration. So the Ministry of Justice is an equal partner in this process. As you know, they already indicated there are also fees that have to be paid through the Ministry of Justice, besides the tax implications. But there are fees and there are also requirements. So they are an integral part of what we are trying to do here. But you asked about the program will be tomorrow. The dialogue will take place tomorrow, Wednesday at 10 a.m. And it will be at Musu's Corporation Conference Hall. And many of us know it as Musu Spot, right?
Exactly.
In the Congo Town area that slightly adjacent to the ministerial complex. That is where we'll be tomorrow at 10. And so we are inviting, we have already started inviting, we'll continue to invite until tomorrow, all of the security firms within our borders to show up tomorrow. There's so much you will learn tomorrow, how to stay compliant, how to stay law abiding and fulfill your obligation to your nation. Because the goal is to ensure the legitimacy of your company as well as ensuring that you are tax compliant. So tomorrow, again, is the program. It begins at 10 a.m. at Musu Corporation Conference Hall that is located in Congo Town.
And just before Ministry of Justice comes in with a role, we also like to highlight that we've been working also with the Liberia Private Security Association. They've been instrumental also in the process. So we've been collaborating with them also. So it's not just us government, but I mean, it's a whole partnership with the association. That's why we thought it also important to invite all members of the association, bring them on board, bring them up to see with respect to their obligation.
Okay. We would like to tomorrow our action or our plan tomorrow will be educating the people, the public, or the security firm on the viewer fees that we have. We range from 400 to 800 United States dollars. And this category range from private contract security is 400. And then we have industrial security where you take care of your own installation and you establish your own private security that is taking care of your vicinity is paying 500. And we have construction security, like for example, Firestone PPD, they are paying 800 yearly, and this money is being paid annually. If, for example, if you pay this May 9, we expect you to come back 2024 May 9 to regularize your status. So tomorrow we'll be educating our partners, our clients on the fees and the process of establishment and being law abiding when it comes to tax payment.
We will be also looking at the process of registration. We have seen over the time past people register with the Liberia business or register, and then it's done. So the next time you ask, you have the client saying, "Oh, but I've already registered my business." Okay. So it means that there is no awareness on that. So we're going to be actually drilling them through, knowing definitely that when you register with Liberia Business Registry, it doesn't necessarily make you to be qualified. You must go through the Ministry of Justice and pay all our revenue, like fees for certificate. So we're going to be very much strict to that because after the awareness, we're going to carry the kind of vigorous or robust enforcement. So we want you to be cognizant of that. We are not going to leave any student untouched or school untouched. We're going to enforce to make sure that we will not have individuals actually damaging or somehow just running private security as though you have the will to do anything anyhow. So we want everyone to be law abiding. We will not also allow you to be of embarrassment to those that are in full compliance. You will not pay 400, 800 United States. For example, contract security pay 400 United States that will honor fees based on fines, penalties. And then you are there, you just have your handbag moving around, running private security, making millions of that, but failing to pay government revenue. We're going to enforce that. And if we are aware of not being full compliance, we advise that you go at the Ministry of Justice, regularize your status, because there will be revocation from clients. We will do that. So we are just sending out this message to avoid embarrassment. Please do the best you can or do what we consider as the most professional thing to do.
So I may not be on top of all the categories of private security institutions. Does this dialogue cover all categories, or what categories are covered or were invited to this dialogue?
All categories.
Okay.
from contract security to the concession. So we cover contract security, we cover concession, we cover industrial, we also cover those who are in the series of security accessory.
Okay, that is well understood. But for further emphasis, what are key issues expected to be discussed? I know you talk about the issue of creating awareness, the issue of ensuring these institutions or firms remain compliant. Are there other key issues to be discussed at that dialogue?
Yes, we have key issue that has to do with reawakening of the Private Security Association.
Okay.
We want to work with them. We need to have that effective communication because there are times, to get along, private security are on post or they have actually been giving contracts out, and you have other security companies that are not paying. So if we are not effective in our communication with the institution, it becomes very, very difficult to set up standard. So we invite them. We will be very much glad we're there to be present tomorrow.
And any comment from the LRA on this?
Well, for LR, from the perspective of the LRA, we want every business in our country to be a legal entity.
Yeah, your own ballot just to raise.
It's not just to raise money, but we are also keen on ensuring that businesses are registered, right? Because it borders on you know like we need to create a fair playing field for all businesses. So we can have some businesses that pay their fees, that are registered, that are paying their taxes. And then you have other running around, as the director said, running their business in the bag, hanging on there, moving around, and yet making money. We want to create a level playing field for all businesses. So both the validity, the legality of the business is critical for us, as well as their responsibility to ensure that they are paying their fair share of taxes to the government and people of Liberia.
Okay, that is great. If you are just joining us, you're listening to the Truth Breakfast show here on Truth 96.1 FM. We have a joint team from the Liberia Revenue Authority and that of the Ministry of Justice, and we are talking about upcoming tax dialogue for private security institutions, and this has been done in partnership. The LRA, in partnership with the Ministry of Justice, they are organizing this for private security institutions in the country. Um, uh, what is the LRA expecting from the participating private security institutions?
One of the things we want them to understand, like everyone have stated here, the processes and procedure of becoming a legitimate security firm in Liberia. And then we also want to carry them through the processes and procedure of registering those businesses. Once you are clear with the ministry of justice, you need to register, you need to declare your income, you need to file your taxes, you need to pay your taxes, and perhaps they may even have some questions for us, as well. And so we want to make ourselves available, the people in charge of regulation, as well as us as tax authority. We want to be able to hear from them. What are some of their challenges? That may be impeding some of the things, stopping them from doing some of the things that they are doing. So we are both interested in that as well. As we pass on awareness and education, we will, that's the way we will communicate to them. But we also want to hear from them. We want to know what are the challenges in the sector, that we need to be aware of. Again, both from a tax authority perspective and the regulatory perspective as well.
The point, and that's why, in fact, we say we call it a dialogue. So normally when the LRA target a specific sector for compliance education, it means that we think that they're probably because of the lack of education or because maybe we require more enforcement in that sector. So we need to have some engagement with them. So at this point, we need to understand also from the sector that if we look at the filing compliance of the sector is so low. So part of what we need to do, and sometimes just because of the lack of education, like I said, So sometimes we want to hear from them what is stopping you from filing, for example, because filing is not payment. It's just to say this is what I earn this or I didn't earn this amount within this period. If that is not even done, at least then we need to know what's happening with respect to the sector. And also creating this partnership so that we're easily accessible. They can always pick up a phone or do an email, know who to contact or where or what to do at any point in time. So if there's maybe if they're going through a compliance issue, they know where to call. If it's Ministry of Justice, you already should have at least a written procedure or an awareness on what to do and then who to contact also that will help you go through with respect to what you want to do in helping your compliance. So it's building a partnership with the sector from the standpoint of the government also. So we expect improved compliance with that partnership with the sector.
So is this coming as a result of a non-compliance which maybe accumulate to people not paying taxes to the LRA? That is the biggest motive behind this dialogue.
I'm not, I think you keep emphasizing the paying, the paying of taxes.
But I know what LRA stands for.
Yeah. That's cardinal. But let me tell you something. As much as we endeavor to raise domestic revenue for our country, we want to do this fairly. And we want to do this transparently. And we also want to ensure that our taxpayers have access to everything that we have to offer them to facilitate the payment of their taxes. But even more important, like this is why we are doing a joint dialogue here, because it's not just about the taxes, but it's also, like I said, ensuring that there's a level playing field. Okay, we can have some security firms in compliance and have others that are not compliant, both in terms of legality and in terms of meeting their tax obligation. So yes, LI interest for the most part is taxes, but we are also interested in making sure that securities in our country are regulated. They are doing what they're supposed to do. They are doing the right things. That they cannot, hide and do businesses because there are liability issues, when you have to regulate these security firms. Some of them carry guns and stuff and things. So I think it's in the interest of the ministry to ensure that these people are visible, that they know where they are, they know where to operate, they know where their businesses are, they are registered and they're legal. So there are a lot of things here that we will be addressing tomorrow. And so once again, I'd like to just call on every security firm in our country. I think you would do your institution very good by coming tomorrow and getting all of the relevant information you need to operate both legally and to stay within compliance of the tax authority.
Okay, that is great. We will get to the lines shortly to interact with the public. I know there are other people who may be running private security institutions and want deeper understanding. However, when do we expect this one is taking place on tomorrow, like you said? When do we expect the next one? Is it going to be a regular thing or just once in a while, why when the need arises?
We want to do this periodically. It's important that we continue because our awareness is not just a one day, thing or, 2 days. It's a continuous process. So we will continue to dialogue. We will continue to reach out to the security firms to ensure again that they are legal and that they are paying their fair share of taxes. But tomorrow is the first. So there are a lot of lessons we can learn tomorrow because, again, we will not just be talking to them, we'll also be listening to them. And that will form the basis of subsequent, dialogues as well.
Okay, that is great. That everybody will pay their fair share of taxes to the LRA that is trying to take the national budget to $1 billion. That's great. But call us on 0770202579 to have further deeper understanding. I may not be able to ask all of the questions that some of the listeners want to ask or some clarity they need. So we open the lines for them to interact with the panelists here from the LRA and the Ministry of Justice. Call us on 0770202579. is the number, and you will be live on the Truth Breakfast Show on Truth 96.1 FM. Good morning.
Good morning. First of all, let me say good morning to you and your studio guests from both the Library Revenue Authority and the Ministry of Justice. My name is retired Colonel John Henrik Smythe. I listened intently, and I think this entire exercise is geared towards raising taxes. I want to ask the Ministry of Justice, what about the standards that are supposed to be set for people to own security firms? Because we see a lot of people get up in the morning and they create security firm, and the officers are not trained. Under the dispensation with the Ministry of Justice, every security officer, because they carry the flags of library, supposed to be trained at the Library National Training Academy. What is being done by the Ministry of Justice to ensure that these people can be trained and to be able to assist the Library National Police in the discharge of its statutory functions? Thank you very much.
Thank you so kindly. They will take down that question and respond to that later on. Good morning. Oh, this person slipped off the line. 0770202579 is the number. Call and participate. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to the people of Liberia and to your fellow guests.
Good morning.
This is activist McLean Brenner, and I do join you guys this morning from Skill. Honestly, I listened to the Honorable Minister in Skill. He spoke well, but there have been
which mean McLean, I hope you are following this conversation.
Yeah,
I'm not too sure. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm waiting. So I'm calling from Cinco District.
Let's hear you. Oh, wow. 0770202579 is the number. I'm sorry that person slipped off the line. But can you start to respond to the previous callers?
Okay, the previous caller spoke of standard. Basically, when you look at a private security setup, we have set standard, that is security managers or operators, they are mainly ex-security personnel. This means you have gone through all necessary training and then you are prepared to serve, or you are once served. Like you hear as Connor or whosoever I actually call. It means that when he's establishing security company, we know definitely he has gone through proper training. So one of the basic standards that we set also is that security managers, we are not talking about the CEO, but the manager must be or trained security personnel satisfied by the Liberia National Police Training Academy.
Do you give any support in that?
What do you mean when you speak of support, sir? We support you.
Well, maybe in terms of technical support towards their training, do you facilitate, do you do any kind of support towards training for these private firms, for example, their personnel?
Yeah, the first concept of that is we must be present.
Okay.
We must be present. And we have something we call the standard operating procedure. That has been taken to the Ministry of Justice. We read through whatsoever adjustment is to be done, we tell that adjustment must be done. Because the essence of establishing private security company is not just about money. We also look at what we call crime statistic report. How can you file in your crime statistic report or report to the Ministry of Justice where you are now a professional security personnel? So we do set standard. When you speak of having improvement, yes, we need to improve the setup, but there are standards set for establishment.
Okay, let me take this caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Marka Davis. Good morning to your guest in studio. This is Emmanuel Tusi. I joined this conversation for District 6. Basically, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation, most especially to LRA for their tremendous work over the period of time to increase in terms of our revenue base. I think this exercise, like I follow the show, is to ensure compliance, right? So, besides the dialogue, is there any other program and awareness in terms of sickness to the communities and other countries so that the issue of compliance can be met?
Okay, thank you. They will answer you. Good morning.
Yes. Hello?
Good morning. You're live on the show.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning, my dear friend. Good morning to my fellow Nigerians for reading this morning. By the way, the introduction, I'm also here from our calling for district number 10. Yeah, just this conversation this morning from a peaceful resident of small community.
Go ahead.
All right. See the LRA, the problem with this with LRA, the most for the few that collect.
Oh, I don't think we're talking about collecting taxes. We are discussing the upcoming dialogue that is being organized by the LRA and the Ministry of Justice for private security institutions.
The Ministry of Justice is a main factor of the whole issue, but I don't think Ministry of Justice is still a regulation to power tax.
How?
The dialogue.
Well, I'm sure you're out track. So, yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Go ahead.
My name is Brother Chris Duo. My first question is how many days the dialogue will last for?
Mm-hmm.
Then the second one is the Ministry of Justice establishing a mechanism where all private security are going to meet at the end of every month to do a security report.
Okay, they will respond to that as well. So I will just squeeze in one more call, and then because we have 4 persons here, all of them have to speak, and we have just at least 6 more minutes to go. Good morning.
Yeah, Marka, good morning.
Good morning.
Let me say a pleasant good morning to your guest in studio. I joined the discussion from District 4, Colorado County. And this is the voice of Akwe Engineer.
Okay, Akwe.
I think this convention or whatever they are planning, I think it's something that is helpful. It is helpful in a sense because there are a lot of things that are ongoing within the private security sector. But just before I start the line, I came to ask this question like, are they considering this issue of impersonating? What are they going to do with this issue of people impersonating inside the security sector? Thank you for asking.
Okay. You listen to the callers. So what we're gonna do now is we'll give everyone the one you want to respond to. You respond and make your closing as we go around the table.
Okay, thank you very much. I will respond to the caller who just said, what do we do in terms of reporting? At the Ministry of Justice, we have a form that we give to private security entity, and they do the report before or on the 5th of every month, the Crown Statistics Report, where we come to know what happened in the sector of that entity. And so we say we have a system there, and we have a form that they do their Monday report on or before the 5th of every month.
Responding to the caller that spoke about impersonation. This is why we have said it over time that we want to work closely with the private security associations. We cannot be everywhere at the same time, but with coordination, with collaboration, we're going to have a lot of stuff being solved. So we're going to have even a chat room set up. When you know a security firm is operating illegally or that is not in compliance with government regulation, just call us, let us know, and we'll tell you that we can rest assured that necessary legal action will be taken. So the issue of impersonation can only be curtailed through coordination, collaboration with private security institutions. So we are waiting, and we'll be very much anxious to work with you. Just inform us on what is happening on the field, and you have us enforcing.
Yes, to the LRA folks.
So okay, on the case of the dialogue, it's going to be a 1-day dialogue. And like I said initially, it's not a one-time event. This is the first of many dialogues that we'll have with the firms, and we'll also consider having regional dialogues also. So it's not something that we're just going to do within Monrovia or Painesville or Montserrat. We're also going to plan for having regional dialogues so we can reach out to all parts of the country also. But like we said, it's always a continual process in between. So the dialogue is interactive. So in between, normally we also have what we call tax clinics, what we call smaller groups, and also meet with them also. So it's going to be a continuous process, and it's going to be periodic.
Yeah, I think in the first call, I talk about whether we are in the counties and providing awareness. Let me say that providing exceptional service to our taxpayer
is very, very important to us. And yes, we do provide quite a lot. I mean, quite a bit of awareness, but we can do more, and we continue to emphasize that. We do it through different channels, through social media, the print news. I mean, print papers, the papers. We do it through papers. We do it through radio. We do it through social media, and we do it through Tax Clinic, Tax Dialogue, as the one we'll be having on tomorrow. So there are a lot of different means through which we deliver tax awareness and education to our taxpayer throughout the length and breadth of this country. Is there more we can do? Absolutely, and we are prepared and endeavoring to do just that, because we believe that there is correlation, direct correlation between tax awareness, education, and compliance. Because as one of my colleagues just stated earlier from the beginning, some people they don't intend perhaps not to be in compliance, but the lack of information, the lack of awareness, the lack of education can make some people not to be in compliance with their tax obligation to the country. And so we want to make sure that we can provide all of our taxpayers the necessary education and awareness to meet their obligation. And so let me just say, tomorrow lunch will be served to at the dialogue. Will be serving lunch to everyone that attends tomorrow. We really want to encourage people to come, especially security firms, or maybe you are not yet a firm, but you are thinking about establishing a firm. You need to come and get all of the information you need to stay compliant. And as I close, I like to say we must begin to adapt the motto "Nation First." Above all else is Liberia. We can inspire our nation to its greatest hope, dream, and aspiration when all of us work hard to be patriotic, to be committed citizens, and to pay our fair share of taxes. There's nothing we cannot do together. We've got to do this together. Just pay your fair share of taxes. That's all we ask.
I knew exactly there where you're going to end. But however, we are closing now. Thanks to other people coming. How was the invitation done? Did you write these institutions, or it was just open that, you are all called to a dialogue?
We send out communication, written communication, and then we've done a couple of radio announcements also, inviting them.
And we are also calling them as
exactly.
well. We are following up
telephone calls.
Today with telephone call just to remind them.
Yeah.
But there are those who maybe for the first time hearing us on the air today. Don't say you never got an invitation, and so you are not coming. Even delivering messages in Liberia can be a little challenging sometimes. So this is just one medium through which we can reach.
You can consider this
as your invitation.
Invitation,
official invitation. Justice.
Okay, thanks ever so much for coming. We've had this team comprising folks from the Ministry of Justice and the Liberia Revenue Authority. On the last segment of the show, we had Mr. Agdi B. Stevens, Assistant Commissioner, Taxpayer Services Division, Liberia Revenue Authority, Sebastian Weir, Assistant Commissioner, Medium Tax Division, LRA. We also had from the Ministry of Justice, Mrs. Priscilla P. Kali, Acting Director, Division of Public Safety, Mr. B.L. Conan, Inspector, Division of Public Safety, Ministry of Justice. Do have yourself a wonderful time, and thanks for joining us. We'll close the show with this jingle from the very program.